Millions in this country are stranded by flooding. Many blame their neighbor. Wading through muddy, flooded waters, up to the chest height, hundreds of people slowly make their way to safety, their belongings held high above their heads to keep them dry. Entering the city of Feni in southeast Bangladesh, it becomes clear why it is described as the epicenter of one of the country's worst floods in living memory. Since Wednesday night, water has inundated 11 districts and large swaths of the city. Nearly 1.5 million people are now submerged. Bangladesh lives on its rivers and waterways, its people relying on the vital life source for fishing and farming rice paddies. The country is also acquainted with flooding and cyclones, especially in recent years, as scientists say human-caused climate change exacerbates extreme weather events. A lot of people are saying, but this flood took them by surprise, and people here blame officials in India. I had a friend of mine kind of telling me a little bit about this story, and they're saying that a lot of the flooding is taking place because in India they have a lot of dams, which keep these rivers kind of from flooding. They can control how much water goes down, and when it rains really hard, India can just release a lot more water into them and flood the hell out of their whole entire country. And we have to look at, like we see in Bangladesh, they just overthrew their leader and she's exiled to India. Yeah. And they're like, hey, give her back. We want to, try her, whatever the case may be. India's like, no. But we got to remember, Bangladesh used to be East Pakistan. Now it's Bangladesh. But they have India and Bangladesh actually are at odds with each other. They weren't at odds with the lady who was just in power, but now they have a new leader, and they feel like outside forces kind of pushed this person into power so they could destabilize the region a little bit. They already got an enemy on one side, which is Pakistan. Now they got a person, then they got another enemy on the other side, which could have been put in power by, who knows, China. China and India don't get along. Could have been put in power by United States. We've already been saying that we're going to, the previous leader of Bangladesh, the woman whose father was the leader beforehand, she said some stuff about Western leaders want me out. They want me to either let them put a military base off one of our island chains here, or they're going to kick me, or they're going to come get me out of power. And what happened? She's out of power.
That's muscle right there.
Yeah, I mean, we basically wanted to put a base over near, like, just kind of by India in Bangladesh, but she said no. I guarantee you we're going to be getting one now, because the new leader of Bangladesh, which is that guy who came out with the microloans, who speaks perfect English. This dude sounds like he's from England. It's crazy. And I'm saying, when I heard this dude, but a lot of a lot of Indians do live in England, though, honestly, because you got to remember, England colonized India.
Yeah, well, India's not even really called India. They're not India, or they're not Indians. It's a different name. What they're supposed to resort back to their original name. Like, I'll bring the article up next time, because it's so interesting. It's like there's never been an Indian on the earth. Like, they call the Native Americans here Indians. They're not. They're tribes. They call the people in India Indians. They're not. They're something else. Mm-hmm. It's like a whole different word. The Europeans just be like, we're going to call you Indians.
Yeah, I said India denied the dam release was deliberate and said excessive rain was the factor. Although it conceded that power outage and communication breakdowns meant that they failed to issue the usual warning to neighbors downstream. Yeah, it said India used a water weapon. Islam said India has taken revenge for destroying the last government. You know what I mean? So the people came in, they destroyed the government. There was stability there with India with that last government. Them kicking them out, they're like, you know what? If I can flood out 100, they're gonna suffer now. It's not only the fact of them flooding 1.5 million people, they're also gonna suffer what the agricultural effects of that. You probably flushed out so many of their rice fields. That's gonna be starvation is gonna kick in, because you're already going through a lot economically when you just ran your last government out. That's why you ran your last government out, because you're going through stuff. You know what I mean? Like then flooding takes away your homes. I mean. They really don't have they're going to have to go to someone's going to have to give them some money. They have to go to IMF or somebody, put themselves in debt, just like who's in debt like that? Pakistan. Pakistan's in horrible debt the same exact way. Yeah. And so it's just one of those things that we really need to watch out for. Like I said, I got a friend of mine. He's really wanted us to speak about this. But so Bangladesh is a hot spot. It's really one of the largest countries as far as population in the world. In the next 40, 50 years, Bangladesh is going to have one of the highest GDPs in the world. So pay attention to Bangladesh and kind of see what goes on from here. And I hope that their government can kind of deal with this situation, deal with this crisis, and keep it pushing.
Yeah, and we're going to keep you updated as we keep going. That's Uncommon Courtesy. We're gonna see you next time.